What is going on, guys? See you guys all in the chat. What's up? My name is Tony Chow. I'm also known as Saskio. Those of you guys may know me as the guy that plays Yumi with his feet, who got to Platinum playing Draven and Yumi. But others of you might know me as the guy who's in Collegiate. Well, either or, I'm Saskio, and today I'll be doing a ProGuides live class on the impact from bot lane. So just to have a quick rundown of what's going on today. I'm going to go into a custom game. I'll discuss about the laning phase relative to AD carry and support, roam timers, freezes, all that great stuff. Then I'll hop into a custom game. I'll invite a couple of you guys and we'll do a custom game. I'll cast it. I'll be educational. And then after that, for the remaining time, I'll run to Rift Kit and I will nail down the concepts I talked about during that game. So let's hop right into it. I believe you guys see my client. Yes. Alright. Let's pick an AD carry here.
Are you the hunter?
So yeah, going in, I'm going to discuss push vision, push execute. I'll discuss lane priority. I'll discuss lane status, how to freeze, all that great stuff. And when support should be roaming and how AD carry should be playing relative to the support roaming. Let's load in right here. Lamau, I'm in bed. What's up, Lamella Gaming? How you doing? Show feet cam? That is not happening. How to play Draven top? Draven top is very similar to Kalista top and Lucian top. You have to play very perfectly, and if you make one mistake, you fall really far behind in the game. Why don't we have all Kaisa skins? I'm in college, at least so. Alright.
This suit lives on.
So starting in the bot lane, I just want to talk about a couple quick concepts. So, starting off with level 1. So for level 1, generally, right off the bat, you want to run straight to Tribush, and hopefully your support covers this area. And that just covers up all the confusion that can happen from solo queue invades, where your teammates start raging at each other for not watching. And at roughly 125, you will leash the red buff, and that's all pretty straightforward stuff. I don't need to cover that up at all. But once you get to bot lane, this is where you can impact the lane right away in bot lane. So what you do is when you come bot lane, we'll wait for the minion wave to come. Let me speed this up real quick. Speed up, fast forward. Okay. So in the bot lane, I'm pretty sure everybody knows this now. If you've been playing a lot of League of Legends in bot lane, it takes 9 minions to hit level 2. Obviously, I'm solo lane here, so it'll take me 6. But it takes 9 minions to hit level 2. So when you're in the bot lane against the enemy team, if they're hitting the minions, you should be hitting the minions too. And you should try to get the edge on the enemy and try to get the slight push on them, because what that means is if you can get the 9th minion that goes down first, so right there, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3 that just dropped. And I'll just keep letting these drop. There's 6 minions that drop. So you guys see these 3 melee minions right here? You should be pinging your support on these melee minions. I do this every time in solo queue. When there's 2 left, I ping this and that, those 2 minions, and my support should be creeping up already. And then right now, my support should be pulling the trigger to hook the enemy in or something along those lines, because now we're level 2 and then we all in them. This is like very straightforward stuff. So right off the bat, before 2 minutes and 45 seconds even hit, you can impact the bot lane already by getting flashes, you can get kills, you can get all that crazy stuff right off the bat. Alright. Janna can hook? No, Janna cannot hook. But if you were playing Janna, you can walk up and auto W and then look to like shield yourself and then trade really aggressively. But yeah, Jhin Morgana is really good. Like Blitzcrank, Thresh, Pyke, they're all like really good champions to set up that level 2 situation for the AD carry to clean up the kills there. Yumi can hook? No, if you had Yumi, you would just Q and then walk towards them. But that's pretty much it for the level 2 cheese. That's pretty straightforward stuff. Otherwise, the other thing I want to cover is something I see a lot of solo queue support players not doing relative to this time is pressuring the bush. You'll be very surprised. You've probably done it yourself too. Is like, let's say laning phase is happening normally, like level 1 or even level 2. What the support should be doing isn't showing in lane. What you should be doing is you should be standing right here, if you're on blue side, and the enemy team will not see you in the bush, and they're going to get afraid. What they will end up doing is they'll end up using their trinket in this bush. And what that means now is they're down a trinket. So then you can retreat back into this bush, or you can continue to play aggressively because you know that they can see you. So you have to play accordingly to that. And if you get fancy, like you were able to push up the wave, you can hide in this bush, in this corner right here. If you're hiding in this bush, or even any bush, it doesn't matter. They have to assume you're in the worst position scenario for them, which is right here. So then they have to respect you by standing all the way back here, no matter what champion you're playing. So that's something that you can look to do if you want to play it safe, and yet you still have to push on the enemy team. Like, you don't want to get hooked, but like, let's say they have a Blitzcrank. They're standing here because they're playing safe from Janna, right? And you guys are level 2. You don't want to stand there because you can get Blitzcrank hooked. You want to stand all the way back here because they'll assume you're there. Blitzcrank will fire the hook or ward the bush, and then you can look to play aggressively. So that's like the most important thing I wanted to cover for laning phase is the level 1, 2, standing in the bush, and pressuring the lane. What about volley support? Volley support is actually really good into Yuumi because you have an ability that can distract the Yuumi and make her fall off the enemy AD carry if she's trying to reattach on. And then her W is going to go on a 5-second cooldown, meaning that you can just kill her. Are Kai'Sa and Xayah viable? I see Xayah being viable with Rakan. Kai'Sa's in an okay spot right now. What to do against mage's support? So if against a mage support, you can't really apply that logic. I mean, you can, but what you would do is you would move up to this bush, see if they ward it, and then the second they ward it, back off. And also be ready to back off if they fire an ability. So let's say they have a brand or something, right? And you know the brand's chilling right there in that brush. And you're like a pike or something, but yet you guys can't get the push. So you'll move up here. He's going to W somewhere in the bush and you instantly back off. And that gives you an advantage because he just used an ability that's on like a 9-second cooldown. And then in those 9 seconds, you look to punish, or you can just back off because he just used mana there. So you're playing a bit more defensively, but you do as much as you can when you're in the bot lane to try to exert pressure if you can do it. If you can't do it, obviously don't do it because you'll die. Best bot lane duo for carrying in low elo? In my opinion, I would say Kalista Thresh is really good. Xayah Rakan's really good. You can try Kai'Sa Galio, Kai'Sa Nautilus. Those are really classic standard ones. If you're red side support, should you also be playing near bush? So let's say we're red side, right? Let's say we're red side now. And we do have the slight push. Then yes, you should still be doing the exact same thing, sitting in this area of the bush right here. And then the enemy will shoot abilities here, or they'll ward the bush, and then you can just back off. The same logic applies no matter what side you're on. What is the best area for the wave if your jungler wants to gank? The best place is being pushed in and having a freeze, and then having a pink ward where you want the jungler to come through from that angle. That's the best position for your jungler to gank. Otherwise, in my opinion, I think the easiest way to gank is to dive them, when you can stack up waves and then crash the wave. How do you freeze? I will cover that later, don't worry. What is your screen resolution? 1980. Alright, let's get back on track. So, we covered level 1 and level 2 and how to pressure the lane. And you apply that logic throughout like the rest of the game. Like there's a level 3 cheese. Like even if it's like level 4 and later in the game, you'd still want to sit in bushes. Like let's say the mini wave is exactly right here, right? So the wave's pushing back to your team. What you want to do as a support is you can play really aggressively here. Like let's say they have a Janna or Sona or something that's not like a hook champion, basically. As a support, you would play really aggressively here because you would stand exactly right here. If the enemy team walk up to CS, you can try to poke them and then just instantly back off. And then obviously the AD carry is chilling over here and just farming behind minions safely. Oh, this was not pushing towards us. This is a really weird minion wave. But anyways, yeah, but same logic applies throughout the laning phase. Bailey Meza says, what do you do if you are pushed under turret and continuously harassed? When you are pushed under turret and continuously harassed, what the jungler should do, because you can't do anything. I'm assuming you're playing a really bad bot lane that gets pushed in. So let's say you're playing like Twitch Lulu or something, right? And you're against a Caitlyn Morgana. There's absolutely nothing you can do in that lane. In that case, your support has to alleviate your lane by getting mid priority, which I'll talk about later, by the way. I'll just give a brief rundown. The jungler comes through mid lane, like stands right here. Usually it's warded. And then the mid laner is able to safely push the wave in. After that, they can both move down the river, and then the enemy bot lane has to back off right away. They cannot stay in the lane, because if they stay in the lane, they will die. And then obviously if the ward isn't if this isn't warded, the jungler just ganks the mid laner, and then it's just a standard gank for the mid. And then they can come bot. But yeah. What should I do if the enemy team is freeze and I can't walk up? I will actually discuss that later. I'm discussing everything in the bot lane, don't worry. Alright, so moving back on track. We've covered all that stuff. Now let's discuss, let's say if you have the winning bot lane. I'm going to cover the basics of, bear in mind with me, push, step number 1. Step number 2 is vision. Step number 3 is push again. And step number 4 is execute. This is the basis to all League of Legends plays in high level competitive play, where you push, vision, push, and execute in those exact 4 steps. So let me give you an example here. So let's say you're bot lane, right? Standard bot lane. So let's push here. Let me just push the wave. So you're able to push here, right? You push, and now step number 1 is done. Step number 2 now, you get vision. So now you move up with your support through the river, and you can place wards. Right here is recommended because it covers 2 camps on the enemy jungler. And then your support should move up to here and control ward this area right here. So step number 2 is done. You've done vision. Now you go back to step number 3, which is push again. So let's go push. Okay, so now that you pushed, you can execute. Now this is where each team in high level competitive gameplay, this is where each team is distinctive through their ability to execute on this step right here. Execution can look like anything here. Execution can look like Dragon with your jungler. It could look like invading for the blue buff, invading for Gromp with your jungler. It could look like just smacking the tower if you're Caitlyn Morgana, because you have full vision control on the enemy jungler going through here and through here. The only way the enemy jungler could gank now is through the lane, which nobody does in 2020. So you're basically free to do whatever you want. So it comes down to the execution. You gotta hit the tower, you gotta dodge abilities, all that stuff. So really, execution look like anything. Like it can even look like resetting and then just coming back to the lane. So there are a couple things you can do there. So now I'm gonna break down some little things that you should be worrying about when you're applying the push, vision, push, execute. Because I guarantee you, after this lesson, you're gonna go into solo queue game and be like, all right, Saskio told me push, vision, push, execute. So let's say you pushed, right? Now you're getting the vision, and then you're walking up. Boom! The enemy jungler pops over from the from right here. So what you need to do in this case is pay very attention to the enemy support's body language. So let's say you push here, right? You pushed, and then you're starting to walk towards this bush, right? And you see the enemy like Blitzcrank or Pike walking through the minions for no damn reason. You know that the enemy jungler is coming. That's when you would stop immediately, ward this bush, and then back off. Or you can even ward over the wall if you've already committed yourself that far to just pop and then back off. Because in reality, there's no reason for the support to just walk through the minions for fun and take free damage. Only if the enemy jungler's there. So just keep that in mind when you're applying the second step, when you're getting vision. There's a limit to how much you can do and such. Keep in mind also, if your jungler's on your side, you're free to walk up. Like if the enemy support starts walking through the minion wave, because if your jungler's nearby, right? You guys should win because the enemy support just took minion damage for free, and you guys are like free to just do damage. So keep those things in mind. Is when you're push vision, push executing, there's a limit to how much you can do relative to where your jungler is. That's why in competitive gameplay, if their jungler's on their side, they're gonna go hard for this vision. They're gonna like move in and then like ward all the way up here. They're gonna ward here sometimes. But if their jungler's on top side, right? They're probably just gonna play shallow wards. Like just pop one right here, break these plants, and then go back bot lane. And then support might place a ward here. So just keep in mind how much you're able to do in that second step. And then obviously you go back bot lane, you push again. And then execution is the same logic. There's only so much you can do unless the jungler's on your side.
This world is changing.
Yasuo, a good AD carry bot laner? Yasuo is okay if you can pair him up with Alistair, maybe some kind of knockup, maybe Rakan could work. But personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Yasuo bot lane. I feel like you have to play pretty much perfectly. Unless you want to play for that O10 power spike that everybody talks about, but that's not me. But yeah. So, we've discussed push, like the steps push and push for 1 and 3 are pretty straightforward. Vision, I've covered vision. And obviously, I'm going to explain this relative to the mid game too, but I'm just showing it in the bot lane for you guys to see. And then execution, I already said, you can do dragon, you can dive, you can invade for camps, you can reset. There's a lot of things you can do. So now, let's go into, I'm going to talk about bot lane freezes and support rooms. So let's start off with support room. So look at this exact wave right now. Let's say you guys just reset, right? Let's say you reset right here. Look at the minion wave. The minion wave is probably pushing towards us, if that mage minion lives. Yeah, so that mage minion lived. So the minion wave is pushing towards us. So right here is an opportunity as a support. Let's say you're playing Pike, or Thresh, or Blitzcrank, right? You can run mid. So obviously you run mid. Don't flash and heal, but I'm just speeding it up. So what you want to do here is you want to ping your AD carry. Play safe. Stand at the tower, worst case scenario. Because you have the move to execute something right now before the enemy team can push in the wave and dive your AD carry. So obviously you'd come up, you'd place a pink ward right here. You might place a ward here. And if you see an opportunity mid, you can come up, look for a quick gank, and then instantly run straight bottom lane before this minion wave crashes under tower and your AD carry gets dove. So that's very important as the support to be able to recognize roam timers, because you can impact mid lane, which would later impact the other lanes, because your mid lane is able to get the push down priority onto mid lane. And then obviously you get back to bot lane as fast as you can before your AD carry gets dove, yada yada yada, and then you can catch the wave with them. So as your team, if you see your team's roaming and your AD carry, play safe. Just try to sit in maximum EXP range and just catch the EXP. If it's too dangerous, because let's say you have no flash and the enemy Blitzcrank has flash or something, right? Do not even play in EXP range. Just stand at the tower and give up the minions completely. Unless you're playing Ezreal, then that's the only way you can play around that. Which is why Ezreal Pike's a good lane, by the way. But yeah, if you're the mid laner, you should be looking to play aggressively when your support gets there. As the jungler, you should look to be moving with him too to try to make the play with him on mid lane. Otherwise, if nothing happens, support just goes back bottom. There's vision established in river, and you guys just continue your laning phase. So you basically skipped step number 1, which was push, because you can't push. It's being pushed towards you. And then you go to step number 2, which was vision, because Pike just came off mid lane. He's able to get the vision. And then now you go apply step number 3, which is push in all the way. Then you can execute off of the priority you have.
I like it here. I just might stay.
Which AD carry best to carry D3? I'm playing Kate and Vayne right now. Yeah, those are fine AD carries for Diamond 3. Why are you overextending a 2v1 against Morgana and Jhin anyway? I think that's something that was discussed earlier. Alright, I'm scrolling up. Favorite AD carry, Leo and Alistair support. For Leona, you can pick anything. Personally, I like Kai'Sa, because if Leo W's the wave, you can Q the whole wave and get all her passives. Same as Misfortune, you can E the whole wave. And with Alistair, I like playing Kalista or Tristana with the Alistair. It's really nice. What do you think about Shen support? Shen support is pretty good. I see him more as a flex pick. So like, let's say a competitive team first picks him, right? They're threatening that it can be top and support, and then you just put it down in support if you want to get a good top lane matchup. Alright. What are some unexpected AD carry picks that could possibly work? I see Kog'Maw working. Kog'Maw with Grasp and Ravenous Hunter and Taste the Blood, because you're able to proc the Grasp on the minions really easily, and then you click W and then you get the Grasp procs, and then people don't know how to play around it. So that's like a really weird pick you can try, but it's very niche. How's Syndra's ADC? Syndra is again a flex pick. You don't just pick it just to put it down there. You pick it so that it can be threatened mid, AD carry, and support. And then you get good matchups in the other lane. Then you finally slot it down to AD carry if it doesn't fit anywhere else. Alright, let's get back on track here. So I discussed support roams just now. Let's discuss bot lane freezes and how to break freezes. This is the fun one. Okay, so let's try to set up an actual freeze scenario here. So let's see. This This is gonna take a couple waves, by the way. I can't speed it up because the minion waves will just run past you. So I'm gonna set up a freeze scenario here, and then I will infinitely freeze the wave for you guys to see how to infinitely hold a bot lane freeze. So right there, I pulled the minion wave because now what's gonna end up happening is it's gonna push towards me because look at the minion wave. Their minion wave is closer to the fight that's happening in bot lane. So then their minions will assist the minions much faster. Then my minions are way further out. They can't even hit the minions right now. Oh my god, it's not frozen. Do you know why it's not frozen here, guys? It's because the minion wave was half HP. Or like the melee minions were like slightly touched. So let's try to set it up here again. But in the meantime, I'll answer questions until it's fully set up. When is the best time to back early game? After 37 CS, when you can get a BF sword in that rough timer. Which is around 4 minutes, I believe. How to CS in Roam correctly? How to CS is a weird question. It's not a weird question, it's just, you just have to practice it in custom tool. But, oh yeah, I'll explain that too, actually, because it's relative to the enemy team too. But yeah, roaming, I discussed the support roaming already. You can check that out later, I guess. But yeah. How to win bot as an AD carry while support is very bad. I am a very good example of that, actually, with my Yumi and AD carry support streams. But basically, you need to look to play aggressively and set up your support to be able to help you. It should be the other way around, where the support helps set up the AD carry, but that's not the case if your support's bad, right? When's the best time to take Drake? I discussed in the push, vision, push, execute, where you push, you get vision, you push, and then you execute. The execute could be anything from dragon to tower to invading. Alright, the wave has pushed towards us. I'm pretty sure it's in an infinite freeze right now. So basically the general gist of freezing is you want 4 mage minions on the enemy team, always. And don't worry, I will discuss how to break the freeze if you notice that somebody's freezing on you. But I will say this, based on my, so right here, if you're blue side AD carry, right, you need to shave down the wave. You need to shave down the wave, and then you need to tank by pulling the minion wave into this bush, and then hiding here. And then as you can see right here, I have a basic infinite freeze. And then obviously you last hit the site when you can. So right here, we're freezing. We're freezing. I'm just going to do this for a couple waves so that you guys can see how this works. And what should end up happening is if the enemy team walks up, I'm assuming you're much stronger than them, that you can actually freeze this. You just go aggressive on them. Because they have no right to be walking up on you like that. So yeah, right here I'm going to try to clear the wave as much as possible. And as you can see, the minion wave's frozen. Obviously, you're not going to have infinite health regen in a normal game, but you and your support should be working together to use your potions to hold the wave, things of that nature. So right here, as you can see, the wave's infinitely frozen. If the enemy team ever walks up, they're going to die because you're going to go aggressive on them. But if the enemy team doesn't walk up, and like let's say they go mid or something, right? Then you can still hold the freeze or you can push. Either or works. So as you can see, minion wave's still frozen. But yeah, you guys get the point. So now, let's discuss how to break the freeze. So let's say you're red team, right? And you're significantly weaker. You're significantly weaker. They have a blitzcrank or something. If you walk up, the blitzcrank's gonna run at you and get a free hook off. So what you do now, when you're the team that's behind, is you have 3 options. You can walk up and die, or number 2, you can do this properly. So what you would end up doing is you would call your jungler to come down and try to break the freeze. So then you have 3 versus 2 in that scenario. Now the issue with calling your jungler down is I'm assuming that you're the way weaker bot lane, which now means you lose the 3v3 situation, which is their jungler and AD carry and support versus your jungler, AD carry and support. So now what you do a step further now is you tell the jungler, get mid priority. Once the jungler gets mid priority, so he comes through here, and then mid lane can push. If the enemy mid lane plays aggressive, you obviously kill him. But if not, you push. Now jungler mid starts roaming down, and then as they're about here, AD carry and support walks up and tries to break the freeze completely. Just try to kill all the minions, and then now the freeze is broken. Obviously, this is very hard to execute in lower level solo queue, but that is really like the only way to fully break a freeze in lower level gameplay. Now, let's say your jungler like muted all and is really bad. Your only option now as the AD carry and support is to roam mid. Because if your jungler isn't listening to you, you're just going to walk up and die, right? So the only thing you can do now is you and your support says, screw it, we're just going to take our losses here and just roam mid ourselves and do it ourselves. So what should end up happening here is the enemy team will, once they see you mid anywhere, they're going to break the freeze. If they don't break the freeze, right? Let's say they hold it and you're mid lane. You just push mid. Push mid with your mid laner and start hitting the tower. This is the guaranteed way to do it in lower level gameplay. But obviously it's not the most sustainable way. There's obviously better ways. So in competitive gameplay, you would call your jungler and mid down. But in solo queue, I guess this is the best play. Because it's the easiest one to execute. You literally just go mid. And as you're going mid, pay attention to bot lane. If the enemy team starts pushing out and breaking the freeze, then you run back bot lane and leave mid lane to your mid laner. If they hold the freeze, you continue pushing. So those are the 3 steps to 3 possible scenarios you can break a freeze in bot lane. You can walk up and die. You can, that's not a non-viable way. You can call your junglers to get mid priority and then move down. Or you can just go mid yourself. And the 4th option is you just do dragon with your jungler. Because if they're freezing the wave, right? There's a big wave on them. They're not going to move off of the wave to contest dragon. If they do, then the minion wave will push towards the tower and it'll be broken. And they lose the whole wave, by the way. So those are like the 4 options that you can look to choose to do if there's a freeze happening on you. And then obviously when you're freezing, you have all the options in the world to choose from. What about backing when they freeze? I'm assuming they're freezing after you just came off a fresh reset. Because ain't nobody going to freeze when they haven't reset yet. They're not going to sit there with a D-Blade and freeze the wave. While you're resetting with, like, if you're playing Lucian with 2 longswords for coming back. Or a pickaxe and coming back. How to know when it's good time to swap lanes? The most basic way is if you're taking bot tower and dragon. That's the most basic way to know if you should be swapping to top or mid. There's obviously a lot more that goes into it in high level competitive gameplay, but it gets very confusing if I try to explain it. What should I do when I don't get any peel in fights as a Jhin? You don't really need... Jin's a self-peeling AD carry. You don't need peel. You don't need like hard peel, that's what I mean. You should be positioning properly and playing with your W and your ultimate. And then just doing what damage you can. How to not miss Q on Kai'Sa? Miss Q on Kai'Sa.
Void rule number 1.
You just need to know like what's being hit with your Q as Kai'Sa. Sometimes, let's say you're ulting on an enemy, right? You want to ult in a position where it's a single target Q on the enemy. So let's say there's the enemy's on that ward, right? And then there are a couple minions in this area right here where I'm standing. And then you landed something, right? You want to ult all the way past here so that when you Q, your Q doesn't jumble up into all these minions. It's single targeted on that character right there, then and there, as Kai'Sa. How can you miss Q and Kai'Sa, lol? How many minions max in a freeze? 4 is the minimum. You can hold more, but you'll be taking more damage pulling them into the brush. Pulling them into the brush or pulling them up into this area.
I will make a difference.
Oh, fun fact about Kai'Sa. I just want to quickly cover this because I noticed a lot of AD carries don't know this. But as Kai'Sa, this is not your ult range, by the way. This is not your ult range. That is not how it works. This is your ult range right here. Like this. And then you can fly way past. If your circle touches the enemy, by the way, you can actually fly way past them. So just keep that in mind when you're playing Kai'Sa and how you can reposition. Let's cover it one more time. This is not your range. That doesn't work. Okay, well, I went in range, but yeah. This is your range. Way past. Okay. That's just something quick about Kai'Sa. And then obviously you can cancel your W by so watch me cancel start the W. You can start the W mid animation. There's a lot of weird things you can do as Kai'Sa relative to the ultimate. Okay, but anyways, it's not about Kai'Sa, it's about bot lane. So what have I not covered? Let's see. Okay, how to trade in laning phase. So in laning phase, early on, if you have no minions to last hit, you can trade with the enemy. If you notice that the enemy is last hitting a minion, they have to choose between trading with you or hitting the minion. That's when you can trade. Supports, you can trade whenever you want if you have a decent minion advantage. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, The biggest thing I want to cover now, though, let's restart this game.
You know that feeling when your skin crawls?
And then let's go forward. Let's answer a couple things in chat. How to lane early against Caitlyn? In most cases, it comes down to support matchup, but you generally want to let her push you in and just farm. When is the viewer match? The viewer match should be in roughly 10 to 15 minutes. I just have a couple more things to cover. Alright, so let's fast forward. So, when you're playing League of Legends, this doesn't just apply to bot lane and like laning phase, this applies to every single minute inside of a League of Legends game. When you're playing League, so let's fast forward. I'll just show this in laning phase. So let's say you're playing against a Blitzcrank, right? And let's say you have a Janna.
Oh, trees.
Let's speed it up a little bit
I
more.
miss them.
Wait, where's the minions? The minions aren't spawning. Okay. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Alright, so let's say we're laning, right? We're laning, and we're just like farming. And there's a Blitzcrank in this bush, right? Let's say the Blitzcrank's even standing right here, right? You need to create an imaginary line in your head that the Blitzcrank is standing right here. And now the imaginary line for the Blitzcrank is he's standing here, and now the imaginary line goes up to here, right there. That's the Blitzcrank cue. So that needs to be in your head constantly when you're laning phases. And then obviously there's minions standing in the way, so you know you'll be fine from different angles. But that's how you want to be playing laning phase 24/7. Doesn't matter, even mid lane. Let's say mid lane, right? You're against a Syndra. Syndra's standing right here, and then you're laning somewhere here, right? You need to understand that her Q is max ranged right here. So you can try to walk up to bait it, and like walk up to the max range, and then know if she shoots it, you have enough time to leave it. And then obviously you can add in the E factor. So let's say Syndra's standing roughly right there. Your imaginary line is here, and then her E, which is over here. So then now you need to pay attention, keep that in your mind, and then move in a weird way, because you know you have to play within that line, right? So that you can last hit minions, and if possible, you can play outside of that line. So that line should be happening 24/7 in team fights. You need to be calculating. Okay, there's a huge team fight going on right here. Like there's like a Shen right here, and then they have like a Kayn right here. You need to be calculating. Okay, Shen can E, flash, and then all that stuff. So you should be anticipating these things. That's why there's flash in the game, so you can be ready to dodge it. So you need to have these things in your mind, also relative to their flash. That's why it's very important to pay attention to enemy flash timers, because let's say you're against a Blitzcrank, right? And you're creating that imaginary line, like randomly at a Baron Dance, right? You need to calculate the imaginary line. Let's say the Blitzcrank's right here, right? He's that ward. You need to calculate that imaginary line as the Blitzcrank can flash here and hook all the way here. So then that's your zone right there. You can't enter that if you have no flash. And obviously if you have flash, sure, you can enter the range if you want, but you probably don't. You still don't in that case. So you want to have that for every single champion. Nautilus, Shen Taunt, Maokai Flash W. There's a lot of these things that you need to have constantly going in your mind so you can be prepared for it, or just be outside of the range. Or if you're going to enter the range, be ready to flash it or to try to completely juke it if you have no option. Which item should I prioritize if I'm behind as AD carry? You still go the standard build, but if you're going to the static Shiv, Rapid Fire, and PD build, you probably want to go static Shiv when you're behind, because you can clear the wave a little bit more. And same as Runeon's Hurricane. If there's like super waves coming in, you probably want Runeon's Hurricane. If Blitz pushes up for a Q, should we go back or run into the wave for trading? If he pushes up for a Q, and you can just poke him for free, then just do that. But if he's doing it way past your minion wave, and you've already gave up the positioning, then you just need to run and try to juke it. Is Ophelio still viable after the nerfs? Yes, he is. How can I control the bot lane if I don't have support? You set up a position where your support can be useful. Where generally it should be the other way around, where the support sets up the AD carry to be successful in the lane. But in this case, you have to reverse the rules. You have to set up the support. So you need to find really good trades where you can trade aggressively on the enemy AD carry, but not get punished by the enemy support at the same time. So you need to be peeling your eyes for those situations when it does come up. What's the best build for Kai'Sa right now? In my opinion, Matamune still looks good. Manamune into Rageblade into Nashor's Tooth. And then you'll naturally get your Q evolve off of the Manamune and Rageblade, and then you'll get your E evolve from all that attack speed you have, and then your W evolve from the Nashor's Tooth. And then you can build whatever you want from there. Can we see you play with your feet? Nope. Alright, let's continue our lesson. Ashley? Let's see. Alright, I think I discussed everything I needed to in the custom game. Let's get to the viewer game now. So yeah, for this I will be casting the Legends Client. I will be casting a game. I'm going to look for silver/gold players. I want you guys to be main in your role from top, jungle, mid, AD carry, and support. So let's look for all of those. So let's create a custom game here. We'll call it Saskio's game. If you can guess that password, you deserve to be in here. Alright. Oh, that was blind pick. Should we do blind pick? I guess we'll do blind pick. Blind pick. Allow spectators all. Alright. Let's grab some in-game names. So, I am looking for gold/silver players only. I want the chance to be as fair as possible. So right now, let's look for top laners. I want top laners. Where are you guys in the chat? And I will search you up to see if you're a top laner. Alright, I see Shields. My man. Alright. Who else? Top laners. More top laners. I see Wiki Pika. Wiki Pika. I'm also op.gging you guys to make sure you guys are top laners. This is NA, by the way. My bad, guys. I forgot to say. Wiki Pika's a top laner. Okay, I see some Poppy games in there. Where you at, Wiki Pika? Let's play some music, too. Put it really low. Hopefully the music's lower than my voice. Where's Wiki Pika? I don't want you joining midway through. It's going to be really awkward. Do you do EU sometimes, too? No, I'm from NA. Alright, so now I'm going to look for junglers. All the junglers, put your IGNs in the chat, and let's try to get 2 junglers here. Silver and gold, baby. Silver 2, Eternal, Christ. NA jungler. Why isn't the invite working? Haha, there it is. He is a jungler indeed. Alright, more junglers. Do you play on the Asian server? No, I do not. I see Kernalingus. Sorry if I butcher your name. He is a... Yeah, he jungles. Okay. Alright, so Wiki Pika, move to the blue team side. Eternal Cries, move to the right and then move to the left again so that we can get in complete order. Yeah, so... Yeah, we just want to line up, so... No, Wiki Pika, move to the right side? Left side. Okay, now let's get some mid laners in here. Pop some mid lane IGNs in the chat. I see Everly God. I got you. Just come on blue side, Everly God. One more mid laner. Days Legend. My man. Everly God, move to the blue side. Days Legend, move to the right side. Alright. We get some 80 carries, baby. Dual Dorans. My man. He goes 2 Dorans plays every laning phase. Oh. Every laning phase. Oh. Hopefully I spelled dual Dorans right. Because I went backspace. Is that right? Yeah, that's my man. Hold up, you're platinum. Is that TFT? Or is that solo queue? Dual Dorans. I don't want you in this game. I apologize. Because I don't want the game to be skewed in one direction. Because I watched a couple games last night. And they were very skewed. So, yeah. I apologize. I want the teams to be as fair as possible. Because I don't want any stomps happening. Alright, we need one more 80 carry. The Hung Jedi. My man. Alright, the Hung Jedi. He's in. Alright, now we need 2 supports. Supports. Saphir, I got you. Is the Hung Jedi in? Did I even invite him? I didn't invite him. The Hung Jedi. Did I spell it wrong? I'm copy pasting your name. Player not found. Okay. I'm gonna grab an 80 carry. I'm gonna scroll up. I got Vincent. Got you. Ooh, I missed one of the supports. Saphir 1. That was the one I was getting. Saphir 1. In you go. Alright, one more support. Let's grab your Moomin. Ah, chat keeps moving. Okay, we're good. I'm gonna invite you, but don't click accept right away, okay? I'm in. Wait, where'd Dual Dorans go? Oh no, he left. Okay, my bad. So is Vincent a 80 carry? Vincent. He is the 80 carry. So you're Moomin HD. May you please join? I'm assuming we're missing a support here. I think one of the invites didn't go through. Yasuo who? Alright, your Moomin HD, come into the game. Yasuo who? You're supporting. You said you're support main. Where you guys at? None of the supports are joining. Alright, I'll just keep inviting supports then until we get it. Yep, LDAP, stay on the left side. That guy, stay on the right side. Alright, so we have a team. Alright, you guys gonna queue Eternal Cries. May you please start the game, and I will cast this game and be educational at the same time. Just blind pick your most comfortable champion relative to your role, and let's see how this game plays out. Don't play anything fancy, just your most comfortable, and let's see the highest quality game we can get. Pick a standard 80 carry, Saphir 1. Is this guy Mordekaiser jungle main? I mean, that's fine. I've seen Mordekaiser jungle before. Yeah, he plays a couple Mordekaiser games. Yeah, I see the Mordekaiser jungle. He does. We got Syndra then? Okay, that's fine. It can get priority on Caitlyn Yuumi. That's why I can see the pick being strong. Make sure you guys set the runes, right runes and masteries. Still call it runes and masteries in 2020. It's runes now only, I believe. But back in the day, we used to have these things called runes where you had to buy them from the shop and then set it up. And then the masteries would be separate too, and the system was just very confusing. But now they made nice, one clean system where it's just runes. I miss my gold per 5 runes. Oh my god, those were the best. You play support, you run gold per 5, and then you build Philosopher's Stone, Heart of Gold, and Kage's Lucky Pick, and just generate a lot of money throughout the game. They can counter if they are watching live, that's true. But hopefully in the heart of competition, the spirit of competition, they don't do that, and they just pick their most comfortable champion to roll with during this game. The true rune that I missed though back in the day was the EXP rune, where you'd get up to 6% more EXP and then 2% each rune. So then you'd run 1 EXP rune on Elise, you do 3 camps and you'd be level 3. Whereas the enemy jungler would still be level 2, and then you would invade their jungle and then try to kill them. Yuumi with Caitlyn isn't good. It's not the best thing in the world, but it could work. crit runes for Gangplank. Gangplank was wild back in the day. You just like slap people for autos, and then your E was just like free attack speed, I'm pretty sure. Vayne and Yuumi, the best combo? Vayne and Yumi's okay. It's pretty good. Because you can put the Yuumi invisible. What you should do as AD carry when you're unable to CS due to the enemy having lane prio? If they have lane priority and the wave is pushing towards you, you literally stand at tower if they're pushing in the wave constantly. And then they'll push in the wave, you catch the wave under tower. And then if they're holding the wave, then hopefully it still pushes towards you and you can just stand in the tower. When do you build the Andres on Gangplank? I don't think you do build the Andres on Gangplank. Is Lethality Jhin works better with Arcane or Dark Harvest? In my opinion, Arcane. Because the point of Lethality Jhin is to stand 9 miles back and fire your W and your ult over and over again. And then maybe chucking a couple Qs in there. What do you think about Cassio, Nami, and bot lane? Cassio Nami is actually extremely good because of the Nami changes where her E can proc off of Qs, Es, and Ws. So you can slow people. But people don't pick in high elo because the sustain... because other lanes can get priority, I'm pretty sure. Or they don't outscale, but they can get priority on it. And it's easy to gank, by the way, Cassio Nami. Can you name the 3 ideal AD carries you want to see on your team or pick? If I were on my team and I wasn't playing AD carry, the AD carries I want to see is Ezreal, because I'm assuming I'm playing support, so I can leave the lane as much as I can. Or I want Kai'Sa or Xayah, Rakan. Best runes for support Tankbench? Guardian. Is there more games? No, this will be the only game today. I will cast it, I'll be educational about it, and then I might pull it Rifkit at the end of it, and then we'll nail down the points I talked about during the game. 0 seconds left. We're in. All right. Let's switch scenes here. All right, so we got a Kled. We got Mordekaiser jungle, Azir on Days Legends, Vin Simp with Caitlyn, and that one guy with the Yuumi exhaust heal. Where's the smite heal? That's the Saskio special. Anyways, in the blue team, we have Wiki Pika on Poppy. We got Hecarim, Eternal Cries, my man with the Conquer and Ghost. We got Everly God in the mid lane with Akali, Saphir 1 with the Electrocute Syndra, and Eldap TV with the Rakan in the bot lane. Let's hopefully we don't glitch out and break the client here. Load in. No, it's broken. Reconnect. Oh no. This is not good, boys. Ladies and gentlemen. Is Azir with Lethal Tempo better than Hail of Blades? I'd say for short trades, you want Hail of Blades into Champions. Okay, there, we're in. Is it broken again? Okay, we're in. Oh, God bless. Okay. Let's open up this and that. Let's pop that down. And let's cast this game. Let's turn off the music. And then, yeah, you want Lethal Tempo in where you're just in matchups where you're just farming and waiting for the later game. Because you'll get that one big spike of damage in the middle of the team fight. Hi, what is the rank? We're in silver/gold. Handpicked by yours truly. Alright, so right now, opening up, we have the Hecarim invading the Kled. He should be calling the Poppy over to invade with him if he wants to get this ward. Because if there was 2 people in that bush, he can at least fight back with Poppy and kite his way out. But if there's 2 people in that bush, like let's say the Hecarim got Mordekaiser E'd and Kled Q'd. He's dead. He doesn't have flash. But if Poppy was face checking, then Poppy can at least flash over the wall to get away. Worst case scenario. So very dangerous move from Hecarim, but respectable. So in bot lane, we're going to focus on bot lane for this game. But later game, I'll talk about general team gameplay. So right here, very classic starts. We got bot side starts. Let's So right here, Syndra should be leashing this Hecarim because she has no reason to go bot lane right away because you're not trying to get priority on Caitlyn Yuumi. There's no way you're going to get priority on Caitlyn Yuumi because their bot lane is so poke heavy. So Syndra should be here leashing right away as it spawns and then move bot lane. On the other hand, Caitlyn and Yuumi could start in lane while Mordekaiser could solo wolves or start red buff with the Kled. Because if Caitlyn Yuumi gets the push, they probably infinitely can just poke down the Syndra Rakan, meaning they need to apply the concept I discussed earlier with calling Hecarim to come down and help out. So right here, this is very good. Rakan's phasing into the brush, and then the enemy team can't see him. So then they'll probably ward the bush or they need to play safe. So how do I stop the camera from moving? No. Manual camera. There you go. Okay. So right here, this is the level 2. Caitlyn's level 2. They can look for something real quick, but if not, that's fine. What Yuumi should be looking to do here is hopping on Caitlyn and using up her mana. Because if your mana bar is full, you're not getting mana regen. Think about it. If she gets onto the Caitlyn, throws out a Q, at least her mana will be coming back, and that Q that you just spent from your mana will start to regen slowly over time. Same as Rakan. Rakan can chuck a Q then and there. Get that mana regen going, and try to land those abilities. Alright, so they're building up a really good push here. So what Caitlyn and Yuumi should look to do here is just keep slowing down the wave. Just poke the Syndra and Rakan where you can. And once the wave crashes, you can look to get vision, or you can just look to hit tower. Because you know Hecarim's top side, because he started bot, and he's pathing towards top. So you're very safe. But again, Yuumi, hop on the Caitlyn, start poking. So they're doing a really good job of slowly poking him down. So right here, look at Kled. Pushes out the wave. Moves down into river and places vision so he can see if Hecarim comes to gank. And then now he goes back to top lane, and then he can look to do whatever he wants. This is prime example of how to play your lanes out properly to setting up the vision. So at the rough 4-minute marker, you should always keep in mind as bot lane, the enemy jungler will be here because they clear towards top, reset, farm Krugs usually, in this case, when if you're the red side perspective, and then they'll gank bot lane. So right here, this is really good on them. They pushed, they got the vision in the tri-bush, but Hecarim was able to get a flank on them, so now they'll probably burn a flash here. Let's see how they execute this. Ooh, execution was not there. Ooh, unless. Alright, Caitlyn lives. So what you need to account for is you need to call your mid laner to get the ward on this brush right here, in this general area. So you should, in high level competitive gameplay, your jungler would help your mid lane get prio, put a ward there, right here, and then you guys can push infinitely again. So the only way he can get over is if he blast plants over, and then runs through one of your wards over here. For the bot lane. Assuming you're a bot lane that can push them 24/7, which is Caitlyn Yuumi in this case. Yep, there's resets. These resets make sense. They were forced to reset because they got ganked. These guys pushed in the wave, and now they reset, which is really good. Let's go on directed camera a little bit here, until the bot lane gets back. Let's look at top wave. Top wave. So what Kled should look to do here is just play safe, wait for the wave to come in, and you can farm. And then chuck some Qs then in there at Poppy so you can get your remount back. Yep, there's a Q right there. And then just let the wave come in and he'll be fine. Going on to mid lane. Nothing going on here. There's just a lot of farming. Alright, let's focus on bot lane again. So yeah, Rakan's doing a really good job of phasing in and out of this bush. So right there, they baited a Caitlyn trap into the bush. So Caitlyn wasted 20 mana and used up a trap resource. And then Rakan should look to phase into it again, in my opinion. Until they ward the bush. Or they can just go in here, that's fine. So heal, he fights back, they don't get it. So right there, Caitlyn wasn't playing in mine with the Syndra QE combination. She wasn't imagining the line, so she walked into it. Meaning that Syndra was able to land her QE, and then Rakan was able to follow up, and they took a lot of damage. If, on the other hand, Caitlyn recognized that, okay, the wave's pushing towards me, I know I don't have flash, I can just play safe here. But let's pop down to this. Azir comes in, he ults the Rakan, and the Rakan does not have abilities. He W's, and he lives, my man. So Azir did a really good job of pushing the wave and then roaming down mid. And then Mordekaiser rolled up through. But back to the point I was discussing earlier. Caitlyn was not respecting the Syndra QE. You know the exact range. We all played against Syndra. And on top of that, you have no flash. So you shouldn't be walking up there. You should be letting the wave push towards you. And then just catching the wave under tower. Very risky to walk up there. So right here, Syndra should just reset. Or now you have to push out the wave. Hard push the wave right now. Because the wave is pushing towards the enemy team. They just got their fresh reset. You need to push the wave in here. Make the wave crash under tower before this minion wave comes. Because if this minion wave comes and it crashes right here and you have to reset because the enemy bot lane's back, you're screwed. Or you can stack the wave here and then hard shove here. So right now you should be hard shoving as a blue team bot because you want to reset. Because I know Syndra has money. She's got 692 and she'll have around 800 after the wave. So she can buy her Lost Chapter, which is a huge upgrade. So right now Syndra back off, reset. What the red team should do right now is they should walk up to the wave and freeze the wave. They should pull the wave into the brush and then pull it back and forth until the wave freezes on this wave right here. And then the enemy team loses 6 minions. This is punishable in high elo very hard. So right there, red team should have punished. On top of that, they have Caitlyn Yuumi. So the Yuumi can heal the Caitlyn through the damage that the minions are doing. And then yeah, so that was blue team's mistake. They need to hard shove faster or escort the wave all the way into the tower. Voice crack. I'd like to point out, we're 8 minutes and 30 seconds into the game and there's no deaths yet. This is LCS level gameplay right here. Syndra with the ultimate onto the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser drops. And, oh, that guy's 1 HP. That's so sad. So right there, red team had numbers advantage, but they probably just misplayed it. They overstepped somewhere and took a lot of damage and died. Alright, so right here, Caitlyn Yuumi should look to push. Rakan resets, that's fine. Syndra, look at Syndra. Playing directly on a tower, even though she's really low HP, and we understand that, but very smart. She doesn't try to walk up, and just lets the wave comes in. What's going on top lane? Top lane ults out, very nice. Akali pushes in the wave, looks to reset, nope. Walks up the wave again. Right there, Akali should have finished her reset, because the wave was pushing back towards her, guaranteed. Because the minion wave is closer to their side. Meaning that the enemy minion wave will come assist faster. And on top of that, I'm pretty sure Azir would start naturally pushing out the wave anyways, because he wants to. It's in his interest. Because he knows the wave's pushing towards Akali 100%, so he may as well push the wave faster. And then go help his jungler, or go put wards on the map. But right here... Who died? Poppy died. Oh, Poppy was like running away or something. Alright, back to the bot lane. So right here, Syndra and Rakan getting the priority and positioning onto the Caitlyn Yuumi. Understandable because of all the ganks that happened. And the kill that Mordekaiser handed over to the Syndra will make this lane a lot easier for Syndra Rakan. So when you're playing Caitlyn, a champion that gets priority, right? And you can't regain priority anymore, there's 2 ways you play it. If the other side of the map is really far ahead, in this case, in my opinion, they kind of are. Mordekaiser's 1-1. Kled has the 0-0-1 lead. All you can do is just try to play safe and just push out the wave when you can. And then, if they're pushing towards you, just catch the wave on her tower. And just do your best to try to reach your first item, which is, in this case with the Caitlyn, Stormrazor. Usually you build Infinity Edge first. And then look to play from there once you reach the mid game. So right here, Syndra should hard shove. Hard shove the wave. Use everything. Q, W, E. Push out the wave and get it under the tower before the enemy team can freeze it or the minions come to block it off. So right here, I believe the minion wave should reach the tower. Let's find out. Alright, beautiful. The minion wave reached the tower, so the wave is perfectly fine for the blue team. No mistakes here. That's very important when you're playing bot lane, is to keep in mind, can you push the wave all the way in and get your reset off? If not, then you need to freeze the wave if you can. And then once the next wave crashes, then you hard shove. And then try to escort the wave in so the enemy team can't freeze it. It's all about minion waves in the bot lane. And obviously there's other lanes that are important too, but bot lane, you get punished for it if you screw up in high elo. What's a normal build path for Kate look like? In my opinion, Infinity Edge, attack speed item, another crit item, and then you build whatever you want from there. So you get the IE bonus damage, and then you get 2 more crit items to sit at 75, and then you build whatever you want. So right here, Caitlyn and Yuumi just holding on just fine. So right here, look at blue team. Very beautiful. They push in the wave. They push, right? They execute step number 2, which is they get the vision. Look at all this beautiful vision they have. They spot the Mordekaiser entering. They have this word right here to see if Mordekaiser is doing blue or Gromp. And now Syndra and Rakan can do whatever they want. This gank should not work here because Caitlyn and Yuumi will not walk up anyways. There's no reason for Hecarim to be in this bush. He should be playing on the Herald side because the Syndra and Yuumi, Rakan can get priority whenever they want. So I haven't been late. Azir just died. Rakan roamed up and was able to get a successful roam off. Didn't he walk through a ward? I don't know. Let's see what's going on here. Syndra getting caught by the Mordekaiser. Hecarim comes in. Mordekaiser drops like a fly. Use that blast plant to get over the wall. Very nice. Root them. Kite back. Very nice. Live. So right there, none of that should work because Hecarim should never be able to get a gank off because he's sitting in a position where nobody's going to walk up anyways. What Mordekaiser should be doing here is playing off of his strongest side, which is top lane in my opinion. You have the 001 Kled. He's clearly able to get the priority on Poppy, so use him to push out the wave and look for the mid roams, which he did earlier, which didn't work, or look for the Herald plays, or look for Hecarim in topside jungle, because that's your strongest side right now. Caitlyn Yuumi is not going to pop off against the Syndra and Rakan in this case. So playing on that side doesn't make sense because they're not going to have the priority. You guys can't even win 3v3. So just move topside, get the Kled priority, or gank the Poppy. You can dive him, you can do Herald, you can invade, you can roam mid with the Kled ultimate. Maybe not into Akali, but you guys get the point, right? He should be playing topside no matter what. And just let the Caitlyn Yuumi farm up. So right here, this is very good. The problem is Kled's in base, so he has to TP for this play if they want it to work. So right here, they pop off. Boing boing, he's dead. Very nice. Azir might not be the strong side, but he was able to force move off of the mid wave there because he was able to get the priority on Akali. So again, very good play from Mordekaiser to adapt his playstyle. So I might shift my focus off from bot lane right now because Caitlyn and Yumi's job is to live right now. Syndra and Rakan, on the other hand, they should be constantly pushing the wave and then moving up river to place vision or ganking mid and influencing the Azir. So he has trouble farming through the laning phase. So Mordekaiser doing a very good job of choosing to gank top lane. Poppy, on the other hand, let's look from Poppy's perspective. Poppy needs to understand now that, okay, my bot lane and mid lane's winning. They have no deaths, they got kills. I know that their Kled and Mordekaiser are the strongest people on the team. I need to chill and play safe here because I know my mid and bot lane will impact the map much more than I can. So Poppy should be looking to play very safe and just let the wave push in because Kled has a Tiamat and then just catch the wave. And then TP into plays that Kled makes happen. On the other hand, Hecarim trying to gank mid does not work out. Azir does a really good job of escaping the gank. Let's look at this Akali all-in. Electrocute pop right there. But Kled on the other hand, who saw that over the wall? My man Shields. Woo! Let's rewatch that real quick. Pop that over. Anyone else see that? Whew. Oh, missed the Q though, but don't worry about it. Alright. Alright, so with Hecarim dead, what Mordekaiser should look to do here is clear the vision in bot side. Look for wards. There are clearly pink wards in this area. Look for them. Try to clear a couple of them, and then look to continue playing topside again. Or on the alternative hand, you can look to set up topside and just all in topside and sacrifice bottom lane. But right here, Caitlyn and Yuumi doing a really good job of just holding their own, just farming up, Lane got skewed by the jungler, but it's okay. And just let Kled, Azir, and Mordekaiser pop off. No, that's okay. So you guys see the strong side, weak side going on here? Is Hecarim should be playing to his strong side, which is mid and bot lane. Mordekaiser, on the other hand, should be playing to his top and Azir. So then what should end up happening is top lane should get Dove, in theory. Or Poppy should get Dove, and then Caitlyn and Yuumi should get Dove. So then that's the trade that both teams have to go with. In competitive gameplay, the team that is diving bot is generally the team that's winning the game. Because the bot lane is the lane that you should be using to control the map. Whereas top lane is just like side pressure. But either way, you can use like both to win the game in different ways. It's just more traditional to use bot lane to move around because they're like the core of the team. So right here, I'm very surprised. There's a complete swap. Like this is like an opposite game. Like if this is a high level game, red team was supposed to get Herald and then blue team was supposed to get Dragon, because yeah, what is going on there? What is that TP? Take the fight. Poppy! If Poppy just TP'd to this ward right here, this fight's over. No, actually no, the game is over. My bad. The game is over. Because what ends up happening is they get mid and bot tower after Poppy flanks, and then they just win the game, and they get a bunch of kills there. So right there is a Poppy. As a top laner in general, if your champion is good at flanking in general, like Poppy, Maokai's okay too. You want to TP behind them, and then set up your team from there. Push them back and then start peeling for your team. But right there, they had to chase into the enemy. But anyways, Kled up here doing a good job of pushing out the wave, recognizing that it's over for his team in bot side, so he just pushes top. Let's see what's going on here. They live in the mid lane. So in my opinion, they overstayed for sure. They should have just took one mid tower and then held the Herald, and then get back on the map, then use the Herald. So what ends up happening here is red team is fresh off of resets because they just died, right, in the reset. So now they're able to push in and kill you, like this. So this is a huge overstay from blue team. What they should have done was grab one mid tower, Syndra pushes bot, everyone reset, get back on the map to have matched tempo with the enemy team, and then look to set up. Because you guys are the team that's ahead, you can get back onto the map and then match the enemy team. On the other hand, the enemy team would lose out because they can't do anything because they're the team that's behind. All they can do is just look to catch waves. But what ends up happening here is they overstay. Some weird rotation happens, and then you get caught on the map, so you give up the tempo. So right here, look at the red team vision. They got all these wards out because of that play. Look, all these beautiful wards, and now they regain the tempo. They can utilize the tempo and vision that they have. So now they get a couple hits on bot tower, but they might die here actually. Okay. So you need to understand as a team, if you just won the team fight, get an objective or two and instantly reset. Do not overstay on the map because the enemy team is actually stronger than you because they just got their reset off. I want to eat your clothes, my man. Can you do games on EU? No, sorry, I'm NA. But I can make an EU account maybe. We'll see. Alright, so right here, what blue team should be looking to do is set up the Baron. Even though you don't have the Baron threat, because your team can't do Baron. Akali is a horrible Baron dude. Same as Poppy, same as Syndra. But what you should be looking to do is set up topside. Look to pressure top tower, and then see if the enemy team face checks for Baron, thinking that you might be doing it. And then look to catch them from there. I'll go into a game, I'll go into a Rift Kit later and explain the Baron dance, so that you guys can, when you guys watch competitive games, you have a good idea of what's going on. Alright, so right here there's a team fight going, red team just groups up, they look for a fight, but it's not working out because you guys don't have your Caitlyn Yuumi. Look what just happened there. Let's go back. You guys are pushing up without your Caitlyn Yuumi there, you're gonna get destroyed. Look what's happening. The rotations are happening and you guys are being collapsed up. And you see them moving through vision too. So what they should have done here was pushing this is fine, right? Pushing this is perfectly fine. But then rotating in to get vision is the next step that you need to do. What they did here was they pushed, right? They didn't really get the vision. I mean, they do have vision already, but they're not using it. And then they're not pushing the next wave. But what they're doing here is they're pushing and then executing. They're doing step number 1 to League of Legends, right? And then they're jumping straight to step number 4 without any setup yet. So when you skip step number 2, which is the most important one, look what ends up happening. You get triangle engaged on in silver elo. Triangle engages only happen in competitive gameplay, where they come from 3 different angles. This is the TSM strategy right here that's taught by Peter Zhang. You triangle engage on the enemy if the enemy team clumps up randomly like this. And it's an instant wand fight, even if they're grouped as 5. Because when you're coming from 3 different angles, they have nowhere to go. If you're being triangle engaged on, it means the enemy team set up really good or you screwed up really bad. And then right here, blue team does Baron. This Baron's gonna take 9 years, by the way, because they have nobody on the team that can do Baron properly. But it's gonna work because people are dead. Oh my god! I just saw the Caitlyn Q come through. I thought that was gonna be steal of the century. Alright, so right here, blue team resets. What red team should look to do here is push out waves as far as they can. Unfortunately, there's towers up, but right here, Kled should go bot, push out the wave as far as he can. And then hopefully it takes the tower. If not, that's fine. They lose waves. And then just look to set up vision and slow down the enemy Baron push. Because if you push out waves as far as you can, the enemy team has to slowly move their vision up before they can fully execute on their Baron. So even when you're behind, you can still apply push, vision, push, execute. So right here they catch wave top. Caitlyn should push this out, rotate mid. You can't walk up river here because the enemy team are coming back from their reset. Do not contest this dragon, please. Just back off. Let Kled pressure top lane. Let the enemy team react to the Kled. Do not walk in here. What Mordekaiser and Caitlyn here should be doing is just rotating to top side and setting up vision top side, which is the only side that's safe. So right here, Poppy TPs. What Kled could do in there is back off, then TP in, and take the 5v4. So that's what they should have done. So Kled should have instantly backed off after the TP, and then find a TP angle in, maybe from right there, and then they 5v4 instantly, because Poppy TP top for some reason. So why not take the 5v4? And then if you lose the fight, you obviously lose the game, because you can't beat them 5v4. But if you win the fight, then you slow down their Baron push. So the objective of a losing team is to slow down the Baron push of the enemy team as much as possible without giving anything up. So that gives them more time to keep catching waves and keep scaling up. Because the theory is the scaling team should be losing every game. So then that's how a good team can come back when you're losing. Your objective is to slow down the game as much as possible, which they did an okay job of, with the Kled split push top. So right here, Akali should pressure mid and force the red team to react to her. What red team should look to do here is force top lane or just match and slowly lose objectives. Either option is fine for red team, but they should look for something at least. So in this case, they send the Caitlyn Yuumi mid to hold the Akali. That's okay. Red team shouldn't be engaging here because you have a huge numbers disadvantage. So what ends up happening is you're probably going to lose the fight. Yeah. So right there, in my opinion, what red team should have done was just match the Azir to the Akali, let the enemy team take this tower right here, and then the enemy team should back off. Now you get to continue to farm. You didn't lose a single inhib tower, and you can continue stalling the game out for the Azir to reach his items, for the Caitlyn to reach their items. In my opinion, I would say red team does outscale because the Azir will just shred everybody late game. Once he has the Nashers, Leandres, and I would say Morello. Actually, no, I take that back. You don't go Morello into that team. But Nashers and Leandres, 2 good items. Grab the Zonias maybe or the Rabadons for damage, and then that's when you can look to team fight. What you'll also notice in high-level competitive games is the losing team generally makes the play onto the enemy top laner, because that's the only lane that they can make a play in. Because generally the core of AD carry and support and mid is too strong for them to handle. So they'll go for the weakest number they can. So right here, Caitlyn and Yuumi, there's no reason for you guys to be here. Kled shouldn't have TP'd in either. Look at this tower. This tower is 1 HP and it's a tier 1 tower. All you guys need to do is send Kled top lane so Poppy would react to the wave. And then you guys just clear the waves as much as you can with Azir mid and Caitlyn Yuumi bot lane. Or Azir bot lane with Mordekaiser on the Azir. Because look at the enemy team. We got Poppy, Hecarim, Akali, Syndra, and Rakan. Who's going to hit the tower? Who's going to hit the tower against a Azir firing soldiers across the place? And Caitlyn just quickly clearing the wave. You guys just need to force the enemy team to split apart. And then just match them if they do group up. And then if they try to tower dive, hopefully the tower helps you enough to beat the enemy team. Alright, so let's see what's going on. So the good thing is the inhib towers haven't been secured yet, so they can keep stalling out the game for the Azir to reach his items. And then maybe for Caitlyn to reach the items too. Caitlyn's build's really weird right now. She should have built, yeah, again, IE. And then once you realize you're losing, probably Static Shiv. And then build a Rapid Fire Cannon or Rununs if you fell really far behind. And there's waves coming in. And then build a Hex Shrinker. So right here, the lane assignment should be Kled bot lane. So that you can pull the Poppy to bot lane. And then Azir probably catching top waves, and then Caitlyn, Yuumi catching top waves. And you do your best to control this side of the jungle right here. So that you can walk in, potentially, to try to steal it. The enemy does it. What blue team should look to do, very easy. All you do is push out bot one wave with Poppy, move mid, which allows mid to get pushed, and then you guys move in for vision, choke out the vision, and then look to do Baron or wait for picks when the enemy team walks in. What you can also do is just Dragon too, but you don't need to really set up for this. Because if any team walks into you, you just take the fight and you win. You're that far ahead. You don't need too heavy setup, so that's good. Just one ward right here is fine. You guys, one ward right here. You can see the enemy team walk in. They shouldn't walk in. If they do, you guys just win. So this is okay. There was no mid priority. They just skipped to step number 2 and 4. They got vision and executed on the dragon. They didn't push at all. So look, these minion waves will drop. But I mean, I guess they'll catch it, but they lose a little bit of tower. Nobody caught it, actually. Wow. They're just losing minions. Okay, so there's just random team fighting happening that should not be happening at all from either side. I mean, blue team can take it. That's fine. That Kled ult was kind of troll. Oh my god. Unless... Put the trap on the Syndra? Is that the throw? It's the throw, boys! That's not good. So I will explain, after this game's over, I will go exactly back to this point to explain how blue team wins. That should not happen. Zonya's a really bad idea. Yeah, in my opinion, Azir should have built... Yeah, so Nashor's is okay, Luden's is okay. And then you should have built Leandre's to slap that Poppy and Hecarim. And then you can build a Rabadons. You can build a Banshees if their Syndra's becoming an issue, or their Akali's becoming an issue. So what was that timer? That timer was roughly 28 minutes. We'll go back there and I'll fully explain the Baron setup and how to do it properly. And you'll notice that a lot of the things I'll talk about, pro teams are exactly doing. Also, I would like to point out that the push, vision, push, execute strategy that people do in competitive gameplay, it also comes down to how fast you can do each step. Some teams, like G2, they will do the steps simultaneously, which is what makes them such a good team. They'll be getting push, they'll be pushing and getting vision at the same time, and they'll sometimes even be executing at the same time. But the most basic way to break it down is doing it very slowly. You push, vision, go in, you push again, and then you execute. That's the most janky way to do it, which is fine. That's playing by the books. But teams that can play outside of the books are what makes them the best teams. Alright, so right there, everyone just ditches the Caitlyn, so now she's unable to do damage, and let's just hope that the Kled and Yumi can just pop off, which I don't think will happen. Yeah. So right there, I don't think red team was strong enough to fight yet. On top of that, you kind of just ditched your Caitlyn. What you should have done was just let the team set up the Baron, and just try to control these two bushes. Red team, right here. And right here, sorry. So right here, blue team can do Baron, that's fine, and then the game should end off that. My voice is dying. Mordekaiser should have went bot here and just pushed out the wave instead of farming camps. Because he knows that the enemy team won't kill him there, and he can pressure bot tower to potentially take it. So blue team should reset here. They should push out all 3 lanes and then group mid. That's the easiest way to do it. And then what red team should look to do here is look to try to set up a pick somewhere. So maybe move in bot side, look to send this tri-bush maybe, and then catch like a poppy, and then sacrifice 2 inhibs to kill the poppy, and then go back, and then try to clear the waves with the Zir, and catch the super minions that are coming in. And then when the enemy team eventually pushes in for this tower, you take a final team fight there. Let's see what red team does. So red team kind of moves in for vision. They're farming, that's good. Blue team is playing this low, they're playing a 4-1 style, that's fine. 1-3-1 is actually really hard to pull off. So they're waiting for the poppy to push in. So what blue team should look to do here, right here, Hecarim playing this perfectly. He's standing very far back to buff up the minions, and then letting the poppy push all the way in, so that you bring the pressure from top lane. And then obviously if someone was bot lane too, that'd be nice. It's because you have all 3 lanes of pressure. But 1-3-1 gets really confusing because the enemy jungler is the X factor that you have to worry about. So right here, that's good. I think they're probably just waiting for Dragon, which you don't have to. But it is a safe way to play the game. In my opinion, blue team has a 1-3-1 composition. They have a Poppy who can side lane and can live from the Mordekaiser and Kled. They have an Akali who can survive with her dashes and her W and Zhonya's. And then your mid lane has really good disengage with the Syndra QE, Hecarim ultiway, Rakan E and W, all that stuff. So the 1-3-1 position should be held here in my opinion, but again, it's very hard to execute. So right here, they just play safe, wait for the dragon, grab the soul, and they're probably going to look to teamfight to end the game. What is bacon? Baron. Alright, so what's going on here? Red team is just, they're force grouping up. Oh, and by the way, red team, what red team looks to do, by the way, is look to force engage. 5v4, 5v3, doesn't matter. That's their goal. If they think they're ready to fight. And then you sacrifice the inhibs on the side to make that fight work. So right here, you guys should push out as far as you can to slow down the enemy advancement. Ooh. Okay, he sees them, so you can just back off. Very nice. So now what Azir should look to do and Caitlyn should look to do, even Kled, is look to build healing reduction. Look at the enemy team. They have the Ocean Dragon, they have the Hecarim Conquer and the W. Grab Morello Namicon onto the Azir, grab the Executioner's Culling on Kled and Caitlyn, and look to kill the enemy team. Like that. Right here, you should force engage the second you see Poppy top lane. Get that numbers advantage in. And that 4 seconds that Poppy's CP in, try to win the team fight in that 4 seconds. What elo am I? I am DK'd to D1 from Challenger. I haven't played for a while. Clutch should be fine here? Yeah, he's fine. Ooh, that Yuumi ult ain't so hot. So Poppy TP's bot lane here. Looks to pressure bot. What Poppy should have looked to done was be bot lane already, then TP to the fight if it happens. But now you end up expending a TP, and no one's even pressuring mid, which is the most important lane. So Syndra should be mid. And then red team's doing a good job here. They should look to force on Poppy, and then sacrifice mid and top inhib for the Poppy kill. And that's fine. They're holding slowly. So I'll also explain this the base siege too. So I have the 28-minute Baron to discuss, and then I have the 36-minute siege that I need to discuss on how to set up and play properly. So right here, blue team won't really achieve anything unless red team forces a fight, because they're not timing waves properly. They're not playing the 1-3-1 pressure properly. So right now they're 1-3-1-ing. Right. But they're not, like, it's happening so slowly that they're not getting pressure. So right here, look, bot lane is pressuring, right? But then nothing's going on mid lane. So Azir just simply walks bot, clears bot lane tower. In theory, all these minions should have been cleared. And then he walks back mid and clears mid, because the minions are so off tempo. So right here, Rakan walks up, he gets Azir ulted, they get Rakan flash, which is really good for the red team, because all Azir had to use was ultimate. So right now, red team doing a very good job of holding, blue team doing a very bad job of sieging. Alright, so nothing really going on here. They're all moving in. Poppy resetted and grabbed her Spectre's Cowl, I believe. Can you review some summoners from the chat? Someone says, I have trouble deciding how to space against Echo and champions like him. Do you space according to his clash? You should be ready to trade with them in lane if he like EQs. But obviously, like later game, like you should, when Echo can one-shot everything, you should be respecting his ability to do that. So yeah, you should be positioning relative to his flash and W in later team fights or team dances. When do you build either? Oh, there's a team fight going on. Azir ults over, ults the Akalian. Akali got hit by the Kled Q. Kled is considered a counter to Akali because of his true sight from his E and his Q. Very nice from red team to get Akali's summoners right there. Hecarim overextends for no reason. And now he's being engaged on by the red team. Red team doing a very good job of identifying to go in here and look to play aggressively on the enemy team. Blue team looking to throw here. Hecarim drops like a fly. Azir getting damaged. Caitlyn getting damaged. What's going on here? Kled in the backline just shredding stuff left and right. Blue team has officially thrown the game. Red team, look to do Baron here. You have the Azir. You have the Caitlyn. You have the numbers advantage. Blue team do not have the health resources to fight. Actually, they do. They should. So what red team should look to do here is do Baron. Blue team walks in. You guys fight them with a numbers advantage. Azir has enough mana to fight. He's an auto attack champion with his soldiers. Get the Baron if the enemy team doesn't walk in. And then reset, fight for Elder Dragon. If they walk in, take the fight, then do Baron, and then reset, get the Elder Dragon, you came back in the game right away. How do you beat a Fed Nasus mid-late game? You kite him. That's the best thing I got for you. If he's too strong and you get on top of you, you just lose. I bet if this guy stands up, he's not wearing pants. There's a 50-50 chance in that case. Do you want to take the 50-50 chance? Either it happens or it doesn't. Think about it. RuneScape meme, by the way. Whole team has to focus Nasus and you have to someone fed on your team? That's true. I do think doing the Baron now, because Hecarim was dead, was probably the best idea. Yeah, doing Baron. You do Baron. If the enemy team walks in, you fight them. If the enemy team does not walk in, you get the Baron, you reset, then you fight Elder. If they walk in, you take the fight and you lose, you just lose. It's whatever. But if you win, then yeah. But you should win because it's a 5v4 if they walk in. Even though Azir had low mana, he had W's and just slap autos on the Poppy. So what's going on here? Force engage by the Kled. Rakan goes in. He pops Mordekaiser. He pops the Caitlyn and Kled in the backline. And Kled gets knocked out. But Azir, look at that Azir damage. It's nothing. Alright, Caitlyn pops. Red team is dropping like flies. The Azir pops. Kled is dying now. And it is over. Okay. Alright, so let's discuss the 28-minute Baron. Let's discuss the 36-minute push. And then let's discuss what red team should have done after when they had the chance to come back in the game. So let's pop back to the 28-minute Baron. So in my opinion, this game was a very classic example of like low-level games, like of both teams not understanding what to do in each scenario. And then it's just like dances until forced team fights happen, and then that's how the game ends, finally. So right here, let's skip past this stuff. Okay. So team resets. Everyone gets back on the map. Okay? So here's how you do the Baron setup and slash dragon setup. So what happens here is Poppy should be going bot because you have TP coming up available, right? So Poppy heads bot. Akali, you head top lane. Syndra resets and Rakan resets and Hecarim resets. And you guys move through mid lane. Okay? And what should end up happening is the waves need to be pushed out to at least past the midway point. So this wave should be pushed past, and then this wave should be pushed a bit further. And then once those waves are pushed, you guys collapse in together as a team, and then look to set up your plays. So let's go here. This like clearing vision here is fine. Dragon's coming up. So once basic vision has been established for Baron, everyone move towards the dragon. So right here, what should happen was Akali has already cleared this wave, right? Akali is now moving, like right here, towards bot lane. Poppy has already cleared this years ago, ages ago, and then moves in with the Syndra and Rakan to get basic vision. All you need is this ward right here over this wall, this ward in this brush, and you're good to do dragon. The enemy team won't walk in. If they walk in, you win. And then now you get this dragon, which is fine. See, the enemy team can't walk in. Okay, so now let's just go with their mistake, right? Where they didn't push mid here, so now they lose a whole wave for some reason. Let's go with their mistake anyways, and let's discuss what they should be doing next. So what blue team should look to do here is, Poppy, you should not be here because first of all, your team isn't in a position to pressure like anything at all on the map if you die. It's fine to be here, or even here, right? If this tower was up, let's say Poppy's right here getting caught by Mordekaiser and Kled, right? That's fine. If your team is all in the Baron area, ready to slap the Baron the second they see you, get caught. Right here, Poppy should be here. I'm going off her mistake, by the way, right? She should be bot lane right now, by the way. But you should be standing right here, or moving down, to help your team establish vision. So what Syndra, Rakan, and Kali should look to do here, I guess, is push mid with Hecarim 2. Move in, Poppy also moves in, and you guys establish full vision as a team. If you guys get caught as a team, that should be fine, because you guys are the stronger team, right? You take the team fight, and then you win, you do Baron, or you end the game. And then once the vision is established, you go back to mid lane, and Poppy, or Akali should be going back to top lane. You guys clear the wave again, and then look to execute on those waves. So what you can look to do is, with the pink wards you've established, on the Baron, right here, in this bush, and this bush, you guys can sit on it. What the enemy team now has to do is they clear the wave, and then they'll walk in. When they walk in, Syndra shoots a QE, Rakan shoots a W, you guys get the point. Someone's gonna die. When that one person dies, you can look to push again, or you can just look to force Baron, watch the enemy team walk in 4v5, do not 50-50 smite the Baron, turn on the enemy team, and then win. So what could happen is, for example, you could do, so let's say you pushed Vision, pushed Saskio, right? You pick someone off, right? Now it's 5v4. You can push the waves again, then start Baron. What someone should look to do is Poppy can look to sit in Tribush and walk all the way around while your team's doing Baron, right? And then now, he walks down here, and then the enemy team's funneled in this area, right? They're trying to walk in, they're confused, they don't know what to do. And then you guys, boom, pop out, and then Poppy flanks, and you guys get the point, right? You clean up the team fight, then you finally do the Baron. That's the most basic way to set up a Baron attempt when your team cannot threaten the Baron. In this case, they're Kali, Syndra, Poppy, Hecarim, Rakan. You can't threaten the Baron as in a 5v5 scenario. So you need to find a pick in that case first, and then find more picks, and then you go from there. But let's say this was red team setting up, right? You would do the exact same steps, but you can do the Baron whenever you want, because you have the Azir damage, you have the Caitlyn damage, over and over again. And then the enemy team's forced to come in, that's when you can look to turn, or burn. So that's the Baron setup on how blue team should have set it up here. Instead, they just took a team fight, I'm pretty sure, and then the game excelled from there. Because red team should never be walking up here, ever. And then, oh yeah, this was the throw. Yeah, I remember, this was the throw. So yeah, that's the perfect way to play out this Baron setup for the blue team. So now let's focus on the siege that happened at 35 minutes. Oh, and by the way, what red team can do is, what they should be looking to do is have Kled go bot lane and try to pressure bot lane, by the way, during that whole time. So blue team is forced to do that setup faster and then look to pull the trigger on Baron. But if they pull the trigger on Baron, what red team should do is dance around all day, put blue trinkets into the pit, and just see if they get off of it. Once it drops down to 4k, then red team has to commit all the way in to fight the Baron. If blue team backs off, Kled just gets free bot pressure. Smacks the tower, smacks the next tower until the enemy team reacts to it. If Poppy TP's in, Kled TP's... So if Poppy TP's bot lane, Kled TP's in, and then they take the 5v4. That's how they should do it. But now let's review this base siege right here. So for this base siege, what blue team should do is you send a Kali, or you send Poppy bot lane. Poppy bot lane, you send a Kali top lane, and then what you look to do is mid lane, hold the wave right here. Hold the wave right here, just Baron up the wave. Let bots, the top and bot, push the wave at the exact same time. Once you guys have synced it up, you guys then mid lane pushes, and then you guys pressure all 3 lanes at the same time, and then see what the enemy team does. And then there's a dance. You get wards over their wall, over their base wall, like right here, and right here. And then, wherever their numbers advantage starts moving, that side phases off. So let's say the core red team starts moving top, right? Then Akali phases back, allowing mid and bot to free hit in bot lane tower. If bot lane moves up, if like the enemy, whoever's matching bot moves up, mid and top phases back, while bot lane hits the tower bot lane, because it's free, nobody's contesting him. And you guys see this dance, right? There's a dance where if they're overloading one side, you phase back on that side, and then you just keep dancing back and forth. They go bot, you hard aggress top and mid, and then it's impossible for red team until they have to take a really forced fight, which means they're probably gonna lose, because then you guys just collapse on that really forced fight, and then you guys win. All right. I think that should be it. Do you guys have any questions about anything I talked about? I will do the Q&A right here. Questions in the chat. Is it better to build Essence Reaver first or Burke first is optimal on Ashe? I personally like to build Essence Reaver and Trinity Force with Ultimate Hunter, because your arrows are on like 40-second cooldowns in solo queue, so you can just like shoot people over and over again. Your opinion about Rengar Ivern bot lane? I don't think it's that great. If the bot lane plays around it properly, you'll never come back. What did I do wrong? I was the Syndra. You guys need to push your advantage more in bot lane. So you guys had full priority. You guys should push, vision push, which you guys did. And then you guys need to execute. So you guys either need to do Dragon, or you need to roam mid and help mid get priority, so that you can hit tower and then go back bot lane. Because the Caitlyn Yuumi was just farming on the tower and doing nothing the whole game, which is what they're supposed to do. Who's the best AD carry right now? Aphelios, I guess. Aphelios, Senna. I'm pretty sure those are still in the meta. Who won? Blue team won. What are your thoughts on AP carry mage bot lane and AD carry solo mid? AD carry solo mid's fine. I've been seeing some Graves mid actually with Conquer and Death Dance builds or PD Hexdrinker builds. So you can check that out if you want. Guzio C has been playing it. But yeah, Lucian's fine mid. Ezreal could work mid. But AP carries bot, not a fan of. But you can play them. They do get priority over some AD carries like Veigar or something. Or they can sustain very well in bot lane. What do I need to improve on as the Azir? You need to understand that your Caitlyn Yuumi needs to be mid, and you need to be side laning against the Akali. Assuming Akali was side laning. If she isn't side laning, that's fine. You just match her. But you are forcing your Caitlyn Yuumi to bot lane and putting them in bad positions for them to farm. You have more survivability tools, so you should be like not directly bot lane. Like this is an example like down here where mid tier 2 was down. Your team's like all here, but then Caitlyn Yuumi was down here. Like you shouldn't be down here. You should be over here, waiting for the wave to come in. How should I position myself as Graves? Dash towards enemy for armor, or space myself like a simple AD carry? Space yourself like a simple AD carry until you see a cleanup opportunity. Is there a prize for this game? No, there is not. You get to watch the knowledge pouring into this game. That's the prize. Thoughts on how I can maximize my early game against Azir? You're the Kali. So from the looks of it, you had a lot of help, which is fine. Like there's nothing wrong with getting help, by the way. You can use your mid lane priority now to set up heralds, dragons, or even dives bot lane and top. What should have happened this whole game from blue team was Syndra and Rakan was able to get priority every time, and I know Akali was able to get priority with Hecarim for sure, at least. What Hecarim and Akali should have done was get priority together, walk bot lane through the enemy wards, and then Syndra Rakan times their push at the same time. You guys crash the wave, dive Caitlyn Yuumi, game's over. And then what Caitlyn Yuumi has to do now is back off and like back off into this brush. And then now the blue team makes the red team lose his minions and they get free hits on tower. And then Akali can just go back mid, and then Hecarim can go back to doing whatever he wants. And then you guys repeat that over and over again because you guys had infinite prio from mid and bot lane. You can do that over and over again. And then top lane just has to play safe if you're the Poppy. And then what red team should have done was done the opposite play, which was Mordekaiser make all the plays he can top from getting Herald, dives tops, or he helps Kled get priority to try to dive mid or something, or TP bot lane to counter the dive. For red team, which champion is priority to take out first in team fights when they're all fed on blue? There's no priority. You just kite back. You just kite back and hit what you can because you don't have the luxury of selecting your targets. But mostly it's going to be Poppy and Hecarim all up in your face. Maybe Akali too. So you just hit what you can, kite back, stay alive, and just do as much damage if you're red team. Who was the MVP in this game? The MVP, in my opinion... I don't think there was a standout player in this game, actually. Yeah, I will say that. There was no standout player from either team. Sorry to put that on you guys. So in later games, like scenarios, when Baron dances are usually happening, you want to send the person with TP to bot lane, which is the furthest lane away. You send the mid laner top, because in this case you're a Kali, you can side lane very well and survive. Because in competitive League of Legends, you always want some kind of 3-wave pushing pressure strategy going on. Because if you do 2 waves, which is what blue team did this whole game, there's 1 wave that's literally doing nothing for you that whole time. So all the red team has to do is just stand there and clear waves, and they get to slowly come back in the game while you're forced to either dive or just pull off bad moves. But whereas if you have 3 lanes of pressure, you're able to you're spread apart, sure, but you're spread apart, but you're still stronger than the enemy team. And then you pull apart the enemy team, and then you can look to force plays really easily off of numbers advantages, as the blue team in this case. I was playing Hecarim. What is the best strategy for heavy disengaging kiting teams as Hecarim? Your job isn't to engage. Your job is just to help set up vision, and you find the enemy team out of position, and you can look to dive. Or, like, let's say you spread the enemy thin apart, right? And then you have 4 people moving top, because you're able to get mid priority, right? And then enemy mid laner is dealing with mid, right? Or Caitlyn's dealing with mid. Then you can 4-man dive top if you want. Or you can look to set up the Baron, either or. There's no exact, like, disengaging, like, kiting, like, scenario. It's all about team play. And then once the team fight starts, then that matters. But in that case, in my opinion, you should be diving with the Akali. Everyone should be diving here. Hecarim, Akali, Rakan, just dive into the Azir, kill him, and Caitlyn. As the Yuumi, what could I have done better? This game was very hard because you can't get vision with Mordekaiser. Because Mordekaiser will just ult someone and then you'll be left alone. And you can't stick onto Kled because he should be bot lane. So this game was really hard for you. The best bet for red team here was just to establish basic vision right here and right here. And just keep standing back and clearing waves until the enemy team might threaten Baron. Which, in this case, then you would grab the blue trinket on Azir. You grab the blue trinket on Caitlyn and slowly keep checking vision so that you can keep stalling out the game. Alright, let's switch out to the client. League of Legends client. Alright. What could I have done better with my lane party as Kled? I could not have really looked to dive mid. Yeah, you can't dive top or mid because Poppy was really tanky. So what you should look to do with your priority from top lane as Kled is to call the Mordekaiser and the Azir, help the Azir get the prio, so move mid. You don't have to gank the lane. Move mid so that Akali backs off. then Azir, Mordekaiser, and you guys all rush the Baron down. Or not the Baron, the Herald down. Once you get the Herald, then you can look to do whatever you want from there. Whether you want to use it top or mid. And then once the game opens up, then you see. And if Herald's down, you look to push top on your own, back off, and ask your bot lane to set a ward behind them so you can TP behind them. And at the same time, have Mordekaiser come in for a gank as the TP's coming in. And then look to come back from there. There's a lot of options if you have priority in one lane. For top lane. There's way more, though, if you have bot lane priority. Can you elaborate on trading in red inhibs for Poppy shutdown? What? Can you elaborate on trading red inhibs for Poppy shutdown? Oh, okay. Okay, so when you're the team that's losing, right? It's perfectly fine to trade 2 inhibs to kill the Poppy if you cannot hold those inhibs anyways. But if you can hold those inhibs, right? Let's say you have Xerath, Vel'Koz, or like Caitlyn with Static Shiv, or like in this case Azir. I guess you can hold. You don't have to trade for the Poppy kill. But let's say your teammates can't like wave clear, right? You don't have a wave clear comp. You can try to all assassinate the Poppy as a 5-man unit for the 300 gold on Poppy. Give up top and mid inhib, and then look to clear the waves from there. Once the enemy team sieges bot tower, then you look for a team fight. Because that's really the only option that you have. Because you're just eventually going to lose everything anyways. So why not get a Poppy kill and then lose everything too at the same time? And then you look to try to claw your way back in from there. Do you think Aatrox's a good pick right now? He's picked in competitive gameplay, so he's fine. Opinions, Lee Sin 80k? My man. Alright guys, I think I'm going to call the stream there. I think I reached my limit actually. But overall, very good session today guys. Make sure you guys rewatch it. That was a very good game actually. It actually covered a lot of things that commonly happens in low level games that you guys can improve on. And I understand a lot of the things I talked about today was like very high competitive stuff, but you can still apply some of the things I talked about at a micro level by yourself in your solo queue games. But I will say this, do not expect your teammates to like be on the exact same page as you, because even in high level gameplay, like even LCS, a lot of teams have trouble setting up this 1-3-1 and actually getting in position. They spend a lot of the times of their split like refining and working on it. So it's actually a very complex strategy to League of Legends that is actually very hard to teach and very, not hard to learn, but hard to implement because the variables are different every game. Like, there's all these little things that are happening. But guys, thank you very much for watching. I should be on tomorrow at the exact same time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, and I will catch you guys later. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Tony Saskio Chow, and I will be signing out. Have a good day.